Welcome back guys as we delve into another batch of project saws with the aim of getting as many running and cutting as we can. This is going to be a multiple part series on one of STIHL's best well-known saws, the 041. These were STIHL's absolute test bed of a saw. Pretty much if they had an idea to try, it went on these. And if it went well, you'd see it on the bigger saws in a year or two. They were the first saw in the world to have an anti-vibration system, and they were STIHL's first to get an electronic ignition and chain brake. These updates kept the 041 in a production run of about 20 years, ending in 1986. But without any further talking, I've got a lot of these to get through, so let's make a start. G'day guys, and welcome back. And as you'll see here, we have more chainsaw projects. Will they run projects. These are, well, all of this is from STIHL 041s, as you can see. There's three pretty much complete saws here, less the bars and chain, which I'm sure I can find some of in here. Well, here's a bar already and there's a chain in there. But we're going to see how many of these we can get to run. Three complete ones, and as you'll see, there is many parts here. Probably another 5, maybe even more disassembled saws there. So we're going to dig into them, probably starting with this middle one because it is the most complete, and I believe it will run pretty easy. We are, of course, still working on the 032 that you see here, and the 032 part saw or job lot. The rest of the parts that are in there's pretty much another complete saw in there. The bloke I have bought those saws off also has some parts for these, so if I need some parts for that one, I might be able to get them off him. We are, of course, still working on that, but I need to mix up a full tank of pretty much of 32:1, which I don't usually do if I'm only working on one saw at a time. So I'm going to mix up a tank of fuel, drain that one, put it in that, and use it on these ones as well. That way I'm not just running a mix of fuel with a skosh of oil in it. So I'm going to take this one off, put it down on the ground, spray a bit of, well, put a bit of fuel on the carburetor, and see if we can get it to light off, and at least that'll show us where we're kind of sitting on it. So let's get into that. Right, so as you'll see, that fired off and seemed to run pretty well for the couple of seconds that it did run. So I'm going to head off and get a couple of litres, probably 5 litres of fuel to mix in with oil at 32:1, and then I'll be able to fill up the tanks from pretty much all the saws I've got, and see if it runs off the tank, tune it up, give it a carby clean if it needs, and see what I can do. So I'll be back when I got some fuel.
tongue when we're talking about what
This thing runs like an absolute top. It is really nice. So I'm going to put it up on a milk crate and give it a wash, tidy it up, get it as clean as I can. See what I can do about all this kind of stuff. Looking a bit off on that, and yeah, just clean it up, and it'll probably be going up for sale then. So let's get into that. And with that, it's on to the next one, which I'm seeing as being this one here, because I know it turns over and has compression. This one's got the spark plug out, I believe. Yep. So I know it turns over too, but I'm not sure if it's going to have compression until I put a spark plug in it. Simply put, this one's like one step closer to being done for me. So I'm going to do the same thing with it. Top cover off, put some not starting fluid, but something to start it down the intake and see if it kicks off. If it does, put fuel in it and go through the same process. So let's get into that as well. I lied. This is the next one we're most likely working on. I get the sneaking suspicion the other one's even got a sheared flywheel keyway, or it's got internal damage at the way it popped and backfired back through the carb. So gonna leave it for now and move on to this one. I know it has no ignition system on it, so I'm gonna have to take this cover off and go scavenging through the parts, see if I can find an ignition system for it. It is, I believe, the newer one, or the newer style. So I'll see what I can find for it, put it back together and see if we can get it to run. It's missing a few bits, the safety on the throttle there, the guard's broken, obviously needs a felling dog, bar and chain. But I'll go scavenging through the pile for those two, see what I can find. So let's dig into it and see if we can find those parts, put them on and see if we can get it to go.
say what you will at the hardware store. Don't get you started talking about sports, baby. Why won't you talk to me? Can't get your tongue when we're talking about what I need. Think you're the side of the tide.
Right, we're back on this other one that I was going to do before the one that you see up there. Waiting on some parts for it, or not waiting on, but I got to get some parts for it. Bar and chain, most importantly, I should say. But yeah, I pulled this one apart, and as suspected, there is no key in the flywheel or in the crank, so I've managed to rob one off one of the other saws. It's here somewhere. There it is. Yeah, I managed to rob one off one of the other piles of parts, or part saws and that over there. So I'll throw that in, put the flywheel back on, and see if we can get it to pop off and fire off and see what it runs like. I'm still a little bit suspect of the internals on this one, but we'll soon find out when it fires off and if it starts to run. So let's get into it. Alright guys, that is these 3 main complete saws that I had done as far as I can for now. This one is pretty much in perfect shape. It's up for sale and a guy is coming to pick it up this morning. The second one there is running alright, but I believe it needs crank seals, so I'm going to order them and get them on the way, and when they arrive I'll put them on, as well as a bar and chain. The third one there needs the nylon inner sleeve for the flywheel, the piece that goes in here, because the points and electronic ignition ones are different, and I don't have a spare one for the electronic ignition modules here. So I'm going to order that and get that on the way too. I'm going to order a couple of spare of them, so I've got extra ones for the other electronic ignition saws we have here. So it's time to start putting some parts together from, well, just parts. So what I have laying around. This is probably the most complete bottom end I've got laying around here. I've already pulled the cylinder off it just to check it is okay. And this thing has been sitting for quite some time. All the rings are seized with varnish. The piston and rings are not in too bad a shape by the looks. They're not perfect as such, but they're not bad at all. But yeah, they've seized up with varnish. The piston is, or the cylinder is completely coated in varnish and dirt as well. It's been sitting open, so dirt and dust has been falling down into the ports. So I'm gonna have to blow all this out, clean it all up, get all that varnish out and that dirt and dust and all that, get it properly cleaned up, and then we can start putting some parts on this. The bottom end bearings feel pretty good. They're definitely not seized at all, or they don't feel like they have been seized at all either. So that is definitely promising. So let's get into that.